Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Rodeo Time, the podcast. This is maybe the most important podcast that we've done all year. And why is that, Dale? Well, that's because you're getting to hear from the world's greatest bull rider. Typically on this show, it's sometimes referred to as Rodeo's finest and guest, meaning Dale Brisby is interviewing who Dale Brisby wants to hear from. But you don't get to hear me talk. You don't get to hear from the world's greatest. It's usually the world's greatest asking the guest about their life and what's going on in it. And I just humbly refrain from speaking up most of the time. Well, today is the day that you get to hear from me. It's going to be me talking to me. So, quite possibly the most interesting conversation you've ever heard in your entire life, people. From the world's greatest and the most humble, we're going to start the Q&A. Now, on Instagram, I put out this very real picture of me riding a bull. And you can see that's me on the bull going for 90. And it looks like he's pretty rank. Yellow bucking shoots in the background. But that's me looking at the camera because I've got that camera savvy, camera presence, as we call it. And I said, ask me some questions for my solo podcast. And you guys responded. This is one of the most engaged posts that I've made probably all year. And hundreds, maybe thousands of questions. We're going to pick some of them, and I'm going to answer them today for you. We're going to start at the bottom, just like I did. Whoa. This really is a lot of questions. I ain't even trying to lie to y'all, okay? How many belt buckles do you own? Well, let me start it off by this right here. Speaking of the mic, you hear that? You hear that buckle? World's greatest bull rider. Champion this year. That's what it says. Sorry, Donnie. Did I mess up the microphone? He's a mad little redhead over here. Stop hip thrusting your buckle against the microphone, Dale. How many times do I have to tell you? He's only told me that once, and that's today. That was a hat flick for you guys that aren't watching. That's how the hat flick came along. I was hip thrusting my buckle into the microphone just again and again, and Donnie was like, can we switch it up? Can you do something else to make that popping noise? Woo! Donnie knows whenever I'm about to pop. So, anyway, how many buckles do you own? All of them. And the most important one is the one I have on that says world's greatest. The other one, Same Boy 1944. The other one I got from Yo Mama's house. Folks be gatekeep ranching cowboying these days, which is a dying breed. How to avoid it. Well, it's either Karen Tangia or Karan. I'm as confused by your question as I am your name. No offense, Karen. So, folks gatekeep ranching, cowboying these days. There's a lot of commas in it too. Very confused. Which is a dying breed. How to avoid it. I'm gonna pick some easier questions. But the gatekeeping on ranching, maybe they're talking about like it's a hard industry to break out into. Hey, listen, I get it, okay? There's not a lot of ranches out there that are just saying, hey, we want people with no experience. Come on out and join us. We'll teach you and pay you. So when you do find them, you got to stick to them. Will you ever crack back out? Hey, old son, I stay cracked in. I stay cracked in. I'm trying to figure out. I don't need to crack back out because I've never cracked in. The point is, your boy is on to the next one. I'm going to them big Addy Money bull ridings every day. Riding bulls and punching fools, just like the cap says right here. And I've already ridden my bull today. So watch out, fools. I listened to a message about you preaching about pride. How are you wrestling with that? Let me tell you something. I have won the battle against pride. I am now the most humble person you will ever meet. You're welcome. Favorite book of the Bible? You know what? I'm going to try to read the entire Bible. This year, I'm going to try to do the splits. I told Donnie that, and he's going to hold me to it. December 31st, 2025, he's going to watch me do the splits with clothes on. So we've made that clear. And then as far as the Bible, let me read every single book. I've read all the ones in the New Testament, minus the book of Revelations. Very difficult in my mind, but turns out it's not, because I've got this new book from Matt Chandler, The Overcomers, and supposedly he breaks down. I'm almost done reading it.
Matt told you it's the book of Revelation.
Revelation. Thank you, Donnie and Matt Chandler, for correcting me. See, look at that. I can take some criticism. I am humble. I've been trying to tell y'all. So as of right now, I'd say my favorite book would be Romans. I've heard that the book of Romans alone has been enough to convert some people, and I've got some friends that need some converting. Some people that are non-Christian that I'm trying to convert to Christian. Donnie's redheaded. I'm trying to convert him to anything else. What do you think the cattle market trends will look like further into 2025? Increase or decrease?
They're going up, baby.
Donnie has been right so far. He thinks that that the government. Do you think the government started the LA fires?
I don't know about that. I haven't looked that far into that.
He thinks that the government is trying to get everybody to sell out.
Those fires don't directly affect me.
The fires don't directly affect
Which
Donnie.
is the wrong way to look at it. Like,
Yeah.
most people are losing stuff. That's sad.
Yeah, very sad.
Yeah, I feel for
It's a lot of houses. That's a lot to rebuild. I don't know how they're going to do it. That Gavin Newsom, he's going to save them, though. I got a feeling. Ooh, I'm hooked on a feeling. Ba-da-ba. I've been playing music while I cook breakfast in the morning. That one came on. All right. Those are the first 6 questions. I've got about 223 left to go. Let's go, baby.
Let's go.
Let's go. I got nothing else to do. What's the biggest bull you have roten? WROTEN. The biggest bull I've ridden. You know, they get up into the 2,200 pounders, 2,400 pounders. I've ridden some big bulls. Again, I'm going to look out for some better, well-written questions. Will you be at Denver Stock Show for FFA Day? I will not. Let me tell you one of my least favorite towns. I'm just kidding. Denver, you're not that bad. But when I go into Denver, I just feel like, oh my gosh, it's cold. There's like litter, trash everywhere. There's melting snow that is like dirty. Okay, anyways, I love Denver. Love that rodeo. Love you guys in Denver. You ever think about running Longhorn cattle? Feel they are very underrated. I think that you feel that they're underrated because when they go through the sale barn, they bring the least amount of money out of everything else that's sold in there. That's probably why they feel underrated. So there's probably going to be some Longhorn people out there throwing rocks at me. I'm just saying, like, I'm trying to raise beef, and they are a sturdy breed. You know, the goat of cows, if you will. Yeah, they're probably not going to die. They should be able to protect themselves against predators with those horns. But most people have them for yard pasture ornaments, and I'm just not in that line of work. But I do know a lot of people that have bought them as pasture ornaments, and then they breed and they have calves, and they're like, dang, these are selling for pennies on the dollar compared to what I bought the parents for, and I don't know why. Anyhow, so yeah, they are underrated in some circles. Not mine. I would say they are appropriately rated in my circles. No offense to. Can you make a shirt that says Carl Wayne on it? So Carl Wayne is the star animal of the Netflix show. Almost blasted Donnie's teeth in I think the second episode, maybe second or third episode. Dale let off on the dally a little too soon. Anyhow, Carl Wayne is A lot of people's spirit animal. I hear a lot about Carl Wayne. Well, he's named that because I got him from Casey Donahue. That's how you pronounce his last name, Donahue. And he's got a song that mentions Carl Wayne.
Didn't he tell us to name him anything?
He specifically said when I took that bull, he needed help catching him. We caught him, put him in the trailer. As we were pulling away, I was like, how about you just let me buy him from you? And he said, okay, but name him anything but Carl Wayne. So we immediately named him Carl Wayne.
I didn't know he said that.
Yeah.
He said, "Oh, Wayne."
Yeah, I had actually forgotten that he said not to, and then Leroy is the one who remembered it. How old do you need to be to join your ranch and practice? You got to be 21, Jose Villarreal, and to apply to be an intern. And that's typically who gets to get on here is interns. So it's not a practice pen open up to the public. Were you ever worried about what people would think about your career? As the world's greatest bull rider, no, because it just kind of came so naturally. And I was good from the beginning. I didn't start from the bottom in my bull riding. I started at the top, and I stayed at the top, and I'm still at the top. So that's my ears popping because the altitude. Because I'm,
1,100 feet.
I'm at the top, baby. 1,100 feet. That's the elevation of Winnebago, baby. But Dale Brisby's way up there. But as far as YouTube, yes. A lot of ridicule, especially from my family, specifically my father. Yeah. Anytime you can get two sides. I will have a side of bacon and I will have a side of approval from my father. If you can bring that for me, waitress. That's a heavy order. Top 5 all-time rough stock riders in each class. K, go. Okay. K, go. What is a class? So I'm just going to say event. That's probably what they meant, but they should have been more specific. So I'm going to just combine all the rough stock events because they're the only ones that matter. No offense, team. Actually, there is offense to you team ropers, tie down ropers. We'll just say Trevor for all the timed events. That's a good answer. For the rough stock, I just interviewed Billy Edbeyer, so I've got to say, pretty big fan of his. 51 go-round wins, 5 world titles, and a dozen surgeries. I feel that we need to attach those surgeries to your resume because, hey, if you play the game, you get the pain, all right? And I came up with that just now. So, also, after Billy Edbeyer, JB Mooney, because he's a good friend of mine. I've mentored him for a long time. Who else? Big fan of Ty Murray, taking a bull laying down at the NFR and taking a re-ride when he was like 85 points to go on and win the world by 95 doll hairs. So, what is that, 3? Have I said 3? Lyle Sankey, one of the only 4 individuals to make it to the NFR in the bareback saddle bronc and bull riding. It was Lyle, Larry Mahan, Jim Shoulders, and Ty Murray. So Lyle Sankey, he puts on rodeo schools all over the country. If you're interested in bull riding and you can't become a intern at Dale Brisby's, then go to a Sankey Rodeo School. Go to sankeyrodeo.com. So that's a plug for them, but it is also a good friend of mine and my 4th all-time rough stock rodeo cowboy. Who's number 5? Who's number 5?
We just interviewed him in Vegas.
Sorry. That was a real one. I just interviewed my 5th.
Yeah.
Who are you thinking?
Donnie Gay.
Oh, Donnie Gay for my top 5? Yeah, he would definitely be in my top 10. I'm a big Don Gay fan. And he is a big Dale Brisby fan. We'll put him as number 5, yes. I thought you were going to say Donnie Ray Daytona. No. That's what I thought you were going to say.
You should interview me.
Yeah.
Got a lot to say.
What should someone get for their first bull rope? Go to barstowprorodeo.com. You can get everything there. What was your favorite moment from last year? That is a good question. Favorite moment. Addison Bogner. That's a cool last name. Bogner. It's like unique, but it's easy to say and read. That's what I like. Unique and easy to read. Not that I have a hard time reading, but sometimes I have a hard time reading. I would say probably collectively all the moments where Donald Cowboy Cerrone introduced me to the dozens of celebrities I got to meet last year. Miles Teller, David Spade, Brian Callen, Gordon Ryan, the jiu-jitsu man himself, Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, the list goes on. Michael Irvin. Yeah. He took me to the Tyson fight. So I'd say hanging out with Cowboy has made collectively my favorite moment of the year. What is your spirit animal? Well, I've already mentioned Carl Wayne as a spirit animal, but I'm going to tell you guys something on this podcast. I'm going to officially announce it. I would have to say for 2024, my spirit animal is Catfish, because that's all we have left is his spirit. He is. I hope the movie is right. All dogs go to heaven. And Kevin, I walked out on the back porch naked this summer, and I was doing my morning naked stretch on the back porch, and Kevin walked up, and I said, verbatim, "Why do you look like you're about to tell me my dog died?" And Kevin said, "Because your dog died." And I said, "Dad, gummit," and got hung up on the fence. And then he helped me bury him. And I got blisters on my fingers because I've been YouTubing too much and not doing enough fencing. But the ground was very hard. We had not had a rain in August. And, yeah, dadgummit, Catfish. He was a good one. Here's to Catfish, everyone. This is me toasting you, for those of you just listening, with my ranch fuel. Delicious agave lime. Here's to Catfish. Was that a plug during my toast to my dog? That's it. That is what he would have wanted, and that is what that dog got fat, son, because I gave him the scraps from some steaks that this YouTube channel helped me purchase. So that is what he would have wanted. It might have been what killed him also. Yeah, I knew there was a problem whenever I tried to get him to jump in the back of the Can-Am plug, and he couldn't. Well, I didn't try to get him when he was dead. I lost my place on the questions here. Can you buy 129 more horses and bulls? Some of these questions are ridiculous, people, so I want you to bear with me. Wait. Restricted response? Why is that? Oh, interesting. What ropes do you use? For what? Oh, for roping? Just like a normal nylon poly blend. Yeah. You know, I'm not crazy about blends. What is Dale's net worth? Well, if you Google it, it's $110,000. And I'm excited to hear, because I don't know how you factor that, but it sounds like a big number. And so thank you, Google. I think they got that because of what's Boone's worth, which I'd have to sell him to, capture those funds. And much like Catfish, he's probably going to die there right on Radiator Ranch. I imagine I see him in the middle of the night colicking and falling over. That's probably how he's going to go. But he's a beautiful horse, and he's had a beautiful life. And why is that funny? I'm just being real. I'm going to do my best to, nurture him He's 24 for heaven's sakes. He's probably going to live till he's 34 with all the total fees we give him. Plug. No, he's probably not going to call me. Best way to start photographing rodeos. Mr. Alec Jackson Black asked that. Hey, I don't think they can keep you from photographing. I don't know whose hair that was on the microphone. It's red, though.
That's what you say anytime you find hair, and it's like 12 inches long. I don't have hair that long.
You don't have anything that long. Anyway, Mr. Alec Jackson Black, best way to start photographing rodeos. They can't restrict you from photographing from the stands. So I would start there. Take some pictures from the stands. And then, like, literally, if you got a front row seat, because a lot of photographers at rodeos are against the fence. Okay, the only difference is however wide the 2 3/4 inch pipe is, 2 7/8 probably. Regardless, start from the what's it called? The stands. Tag, then send those pictures to the rodeo cowboys. Hey, I'm giving y'all some gold ideas here. I'm just coming up with this. I am so brilliant. Anyhow, I should charge you for this advice. Then send those pictures to each of the rodeo cowboys and say, hey, you can have this, just tag me. And say, new rodeo photographer on the come up. Write the caption for them. Got this awesome picture of me, because everybody likes to post about themselves, right? Except for me, because I'm the most humble. This ain't a question, but thanks for the happy birthday yesterday. Zayden, you're welcome. You are welcome. How would you take in a new kid to learn? How young would you take in a new kid to 21? Already answered that. I'm not trying to sound like an ex-wife or anything, Dale, but please message me back. Well, you are sounding like an ex-wife. That is not my kid. Dale, did you choose the cowboy life, or did it simply choose you? A little bit of both. I'd say a little bit of both. This is America, so I had the freedom to choose. I could have left, but I chose not to leave. So we all have the freedom to choose. Hey, you make your choices make you. Next question. Did you braid your bull ropes from your own hair? No. It's from your mom's hair, and I shaved it off of her back. Which practice bull is your favorite out of all that you have ever owned, and why? Ooh, all that I've ever owned. Oh. You know, I really like that New Mexico bad boy. He was pretty good. The trip he had with JB right before JB's 15th PBR World Finals, and JB got on him with the flank rope. That video, YouTube video, has millions of views because I'm in it. And so, yeah, that's what I'm going to have to go with. New Mexico bad boy for all of you deep track viewers out there. Do you know our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ? Yes, I do. Stone_Phillips_07. And I hope you do too. What bull breed do you consider yourself most like, and why? You know, it depends. If it's Saturday night, call me an F1 Bramer Cross. All right? Because my ears are droopy and I'm bound for leaving. If it's unless it's about 8:30, because then I'm going to take my mountain up slumber and be in bed by 9. So I guess that puts me probably more in like a full-blood Angus, as Black Angus, that is. As my friend Cole Hatfield said in a recent podcast, no passion. He does not like them. I do. Maybe the snortier of Black Angus bulls would be maybe, which you get a potload of muley Black Angus bulls, half of them are going to turn back, at least the first trip. So those would be fun to break in. I may try to buy me a potload of Black Angus bulls. Let's buck them, boys. Run them in a chute, which is kind of what I come from. That's what my dad did. We always bucked animals, even horses. If they showed up at the ranch, not every horse, but definitely every bull. But if a horse was like pitching a fit in the round pen, take him to the bucking chute. So I did that, and I definitely broke a leg of a very expensive R.A. Brown bull. Yeah. So now what I try to do is get at least a breeding season out of them. Then we buck them. That way, hey, they've done their job a little bit. Now it's time to see if they're going to turn back, old son. What I probably shouldn't have done is put my biggest bull rider on them. That's where I really made the mistake. What are your opinions on the COVID and the VAX? Well, I'll tell you this. I didn't get the jab. I'll tell you that for sure. Still do the Bible study. I do have a Bible study. You have to text the word Bible to my phone number, which is 940-353-0890. Text that. Text the word Bible to that phone number. And once or twice a month, when I do a Bible study, I'll sometimes kind of review it on a YouTube video. It's on unlisted, so you have to get the text that I send out when I do that Bible study. Just know that you will also receive marketing text messages from me occasionally. I like to sit and text. I'll probably text 100 people a day on my little text message phone number. But hey, you're gonna hear from me occasionally because the app, the text messaging app, is very expensive. Hey, I am a YouTuber that sometimes I'm a bull rider that sometimes does Bible studies. I'm not a preacher that has an apparel line. Not that there's anything wrong with that, regardless. I have been to a rodeo in Canada, Ponoka. Y'all got some weird food up there. Do you know Kurt Bills and Garrett Kleeman? Somebody thinks they're funny. My college roommates. They're from Nazareth. Well, Garrett was. Nazareth is that's a fine community. I want to say like half a dozen liquor stores and 2 churches, and that's it. And also they win state in like every event, every sport that they play all the time. And they have beautiful women that I chased a lot in high school. So beautiful. Anyways, Nazareth, Texas, great town. And then also Kurt Bills, sweetheart of a human. Those are my college roommates. They used to play this game. What's it with the ice tray? Moose, baby. And then it's got the bowl at the end of it. We had 2 ice trays, 2 bowls, because I don't like to drink. We put sweet tea in them. You flip that quarter onto the table, and if it goes in the bowl, somebody else drinks it? I can't remember. Regardless, my sweet tea version, because I've always loved sweet tea, but I really liked Nest teas in college. I only played it the one time because I definitely peed the bed that night. I was a sophomore in college. Woke up with piss-stained sheets. Isn't that something? Thanks a lot, Kurt Bills, Garrett Kleeman. Talk about peer pressure. They peer pressured me into peeing the bed. Have you ever done a solo podcast? Well, thanks, Levi Bones. Yes, I have. And that's what we're on. What's your dream pet? Yeah, big fan here. What's your dream pet to own? All I can think about is a 2-way petting zoo. You pet the pet, you pet them, and they pet you back. That's what came to mind. What pet would pet you back? A monkey? Sounds dangerous.
Maybe like a lemur.
A lemur?
Yeah,
What's a lemur?
It's like they got the rings on their tails.
The rings on their tails.
King Julian.
Not ringing any bells.
King Julian.
Now we're talking. Zaboomafoo. King Julian. I'll take a lemur. You know what I'm going to go with? I'm going to go with a lemur on my dream pet, but only if they talk like King Julian. All right, let me get into some different questions. What's the best advice for a beginner bull rider? Number 1, don't. That'll be my advice. I have to go on record saying that because you could die. So there's that. Number 2, if you decide to go down this path, know that the best you will ever be is number 2. And that's all I got. Can I change my name to Dale Brisby Jr.? Well, that's almost what it was. Is college rodeo worth it, or should I focus on PRCA or PBR? I would definitely college rodeo, because if you're asking that, that probably means you're in college. Congratulations. And you've accomplished more than I have. And so maybe my dad is proud of you. Regardless, college rodeo is where you can meet the people you will be PRCA rodeoing with later. So whatever age you are, that's the age that your fellow college rodeo cowboys are. And some of them aren't going to rodeo past college, but some of them will, and you're going to see them on the trail. So college rodeo is a good place to meet them. What was the time you felt the most Adderall? Adrenal. Adrenaline. Maybe they ran out of like characters. What is the time I felt the most adrenaline? Ooh, that is a good question. Yeah. I really get pumped up when I'm talking to girls. Like when you see a girl, hey, why is that so funny? I'm just saying, bulls or whatever, but the opposite sex, it's a very powerful species over there. You know what I'm saying? And the way when you approach a girl and you have the ability, I mean, it's going to go one of two ways. It's going to go good or bad, just like a bull ride. When you're about to nod, you walk up to a girl, how is this going to go? Could go good, could go bad. For me in bull riding, it always went good. Adrenaline wears off. For women, not always the case, but it's exciting nonetheless. So anything with young ladies, over the age of 21, I gotta stop saying that. I'm just saying, like 21 and up. If I'm gonna walk up to a girl, let's go to the next question. I'm still tripping over the way that they spelled adrenaline. Why does Dale Brisby just do Dale Brisby things? I don't know the answer to that one. I just continue to do Dale Brisby things. That's when I get up, what are the things I'm going to tackle today? And I just always choose Dale Brisby things. What's one animal you hope to have on the ranch in the future? I think we've already addressed that, and that's a lemur. Are you really my mom's favorite bull rider? If you have to ask, then the answer is yes. Yes. I'm having a hard time reading and a hard time pronouncing words today. You know, when I was a kid, I used to ask, my mom had this friend that was a teacher, and I used to have to go to this different classroom than everyone else. And my mom said that it's because her friend, she wanted me to learn from her friend. Looking back, what do they call that?
Speech therapy?
I was going to say remedial. Like, what is it? Where, like, you're just a little slower than the rest of the class? You need a little extra attention? I'm wondering now if maybe my mom wasn't just friends with her, and it was maybe like a special parent-teacher meeting early on where they were like, we think your son needs a little extra attention. Yeah. He just won't take his sunglasses off. And we don't know why, but we're going to put him in this other class. You know what it might have been? Maybe it was where the gifted kids go. Because I remember that word getting thrown around a lot. Special, the word special, the word gifted, unique, personality. He really makes us laugh. I remember that. So I got some questions for my mom after I answer these questions from the audience. What's the most money you've ever won in a rodeo? I'd say all of it. Like just all the money they had to offer. What do you do on your free time? This is my free time, baby. You don't want to know what I do on my non-free time is what you don't want to know. Do you think you're better than the man, the myth, the legend, J.B. Mooney? Look, I'm not going to say I'm better than anyone, okay? That's just not how I roll. I will say I'm the world's greatest. So if you will do the art of deduction there, hey, that was a pretty intelligent thing to say. Art of deduction, right? Cole's nodding. That's when you know you've said something intelligent. When you got Cole nodding. How you become the world's okay, same old questions here, people. Do that thing, be farting. Do that thing, be farting.
Trying to get one for free. That's the Cameo guy.
Hey, yeah, this is the Cameo guy, Tom. I have maybe made $1,500 on Cameo, where a certain individual who goes by the name of Tom requests a video of me where in some point I fart, and it's $100 a pop, literally, and shamelessly, I cash that money, baby. I be cashing them checks. So there is a line to what I will do for money, but that line is beyond farting. So I really hope that I don't get a bunch of Cameo requests to like. I wouldn't mind Cameo requests, but if 29 Cameos come in where they say Dale, like, I don't know. It's starting to get weird. I am going to have to rethink my morals on that one. If you weren't in rodeo, what would your dream job be? You know, I think that it might be an okay job to be a greeter at Walmart. I feel like if you like to people watch, that's the one. Yep. Like, I mean, you just be shaking people's hand and greeting them. You get to just see all walks of life, being a greeter at Walmart. I really did think that whenever I was a kid. I was like, when I retire and I have all the money in the world that I've won from riding bulls, I'm going to sleep on my yacht at night, and I'm going to, during the day, be a greeter at Walmart. Now I don't think I'm going to do that. I'd rather just run cows, which is probably a similar job. You should interview Rocker Steiner more. How about you should? I have twice, okay? Stop telling me what to do. What boots do you rock? Right now, I be rocking the J's. Look at these. That's right, Jordans. I like basketball, and they got me for an Instagram ad, $88, free shipping. That's not bad for a set of Jordans. High tops, so your pants don't get caught up on the low top. Anyway, I bet you didn't see that coming, or maybe you did, because you're ready to say you ain't no cowboy, which internally hurts my feelings, even though I act tough. I'm going to go back to the top, because this next question from JDJ Keller is, are you gay? I ain't gay, dog. All right? And I'm tired of the jokes about I'm getting really tired of the Brokeback Mountain jokes. It's not creative, okay? You date one guy one time, and all of a sudden everybody wants to make a Brokeback Mountain joke. Do you care about your bulls, or your interns? Would you call the vet or 911? Oh, dang. I'm going to assess the situation. Hey. Which intern and which bull? So assess the situation. Yeah. Are we talking Harrison, or are we talking Kevin? Are we talking Trunk or Tie Monster? I don't know. And I don't know which way to answer it if you were to be specific on my question. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I have to pay the interns. The bulls pay me. So that's a good point, Cole. How many rodeos have you won? Rodeos. You know what that made me think of? They did spell it right. How many rodeos have you won? All of them was what I was going to say, but then I mispronounced it, and it made me think of Rolos. That's a good candy. Milk. What is my deal today? What is with me? Milk chocolate hugging caramel. And not caramel, caramel. Like that is a pardon my French, but that is a badass candy. Like whoever came up with the Rolo did it right. Like they've been living right. You know what I mean? I'm going to go to the top. Do you wear a wig? Hey, this hair is real hair and it's mine. I got the receipt to prove it. Make your own clothes or only eat what you hunt. Dang. I can wear my clothes for a long time, or I wear the hide of the animal that I killed to eat. So I'm going to trump your question with a double answer. Live without electricity or roommates with a PETA activist? I think I'm going to go with living with the PETA activist because they're so extreme against what I am. I don't feel like it would like sway me as much. And I'm just going to go and venture to guess that I probably have a little thicker skin than they might. So I could like make fun of them low key, patronize them. I would patronize them every day. Yeah, I'll probably be able to beat them up. That's just a guess. I'm just now don't, hey, that's just a rule of thumb. Now, obviously there's going to be some exceptions and probably some PETA activists out there that are female and black belts in jiu-jitsu. I get it. You can armbar me. I get it. Yes, you could take me. I'm just talking in generalities here. But hey, I'm forced to make a decision between electricity and living with a PETA activist. I'm going to go with living with the PETA activist, and I'm going to have electricity. Oh, another question, add-on question. Am I dating them? Is this a woman? Are we married? Am I like forced to live with, do we have to talk? Can I split the house in two? What, do I have to eat what they eat? I would rather live without electricity than eat what a PETA activist eats.
Not dating, but they follow you around everywhere.
Not dating, but they follow me around everywhere.
They're with you.
They're with me. I think I'm gonna change my answer. I'm gonna go without electricity because I can start a fire. I just don't like being cold. To be honest, I'm more scared of being cold than I am being around someone who disagrees with me. Because I'm not gonna just try to fight them. But when you use the word activist, that means they're coming after me. That's what activist means. I'm just not crazy about activists. You know, it's just not really. They say, anybody that's like an activist seems like they're probably also pretty arrogant. Dramatic, arrogant, and I'm super humble, like the most. So get out of here with that. Best way to get out of a date gone south. You know, you can always pull the old text somebody to call you kind of deal, but why don't we just encourage a little bit more honesty these days? Hey, you're just not that cute, you know. It's not me, it's you and your unibrow. Yeah. But then why were you on it in the first place? Yeah, you need to be kind. What Bart Crow song is your favorite? I'm going to say Wear My Ring. Bart Crow. He's a beautiful individual. So you guys look up Bart Crow. Live the rest of your life without electricity or get $1,000 every day you don't swear. Yeah, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to just not say anything. It's not swearing. That's another goal of mine in 2025. So what was it? I'm going to do the splits. I'm going to read the whole Bible. I'm going to stop texting Donnie's mom late at night. I might have to have somebody read the Bible for me. We've decided. You know what? I'm going to call up that teacher friend of my mom who taught me in the special classes because I was a special boy. That's what my mom used to say. One pair of shoes for the rest of your life? ? No. Nope. What's it like having the most amazing coworkers? That's coming from Cameron Grigg, previously famous for his dancing TikToks. He's not sure what he's going to do with all those dance moves come January 19th. He's just going to be throwing them up in the warehouse without TikTok to watch. No, that would be a sad day. They're talking about Elon Musk potentially buying it. What if Trump bought it? That'd be a gangster move. President.
I bought TikTok. I bought it for you. I'm going to give it to you, the people of America.
Yep.
I bought it from China.
I bought it from China.
The Chinese app.
The China.
Now American. Make TikTok great again.
Yep. Cameron's just going to be dancing by himself now. Poor guy. It's funny. It's not a conflict of interest because the inauguration is until the 20th, so he's not technically president. So if he gets it bought in the next few days, which I don't know when this podcast is coming out, you never know. You never know when we'll release them. What's your workout routine? That's coming from Caitlin Coward, my previous personal trainer. The best exercise to do on leg day is bench. So that's what Daddy be doing, baby. No, I'm just kidding. I did bis and trials today. I like to break it up, which I know everybody's like, if you do each muscle group on each day, that means you're a bodybuilder. Well, then call me Arnold, old son. I don't mind CrossFit style workouts. I don't mind that kind of stuff. Like what I did with Tim Kennedy, where Ty threw up. And then the other time we worked out with Tim Kennedy where Carson threw up. I don't mind those style workouts. I just had a lot of injuries. And I'm a little nervous when I don't have Tim there to coach me through it that I'm going to just, throw the old back out, which tends to happen these days. But I don't know if that's because I'm doing the workout wrong or because I've had 2 back surgeries. Do you know, Donnie? Of course you don't. You're redheaded. No. What else piques your interest outside of ranching? Is it sports, drawing, or cooking? Drawing. That's an underrated little side hustle, is doodling. And I really enjoy it. And I wished I would have spent more time on it in my 54 years. Is doodling. I feel like I could have gotten really good at it had I doodled more. You've seen me draw. And you've seen me sing, and you've seen me naked. Which one was the most underwhelming? Drawing and singing and naked. The singing was the funniest. Well, that's good to know. Yeah. Hey, it's hard. You get in the booth on a mic, and it is really hard to perform. Yeah, I know I did make it clear. And what did you say, Cole? Okay, what else piques my interest? Yes, drawing is one. I do like to cook. I cook 3 meals a day because I'm on carnivore. Cowboy's giving me a hard time because at the end of 24, your boy did a lot of cheating. He says that I would be one to cheat on my wife because I cheat on my diet. I do not think those two are synonymous. But, those carbs, they do be enticing. I can get romantic with some French fries, like chips and salsa, tacos. It is January, and I'm already thinking about cheating on the carnivore diet. I will say that the 2025 push for carnivore for me has been easier than my 2023 push coming off of all those other carbs. Recently had a podcast with Paul, not Joe. Paul Saladino. Hey, Saladino is the kind of name that fits with a Joe. You know what I mean? Like, just sounds Italian. I don't know if it is.
Polly is like the most Italian.
Polly, though, yes, you're right, is the most Italian. But Saladino, that's just funny. Salad is in the name of his previous Instagram handle was Carnivore MD, but his last name is Salad. So that's funny. Anyhow, Paul gave us the insight. He's big into animal food, animal diets. I wished his product was more like U.S. beef rather than Australian beef. Other than that, I love everything he stands for because I'm a U.S. rancher, old son. We've talked about this before. I love Australians so much. I went on a date once with this beautiful blonde from Australia with the most beautiful accent. And yeah, but she was a vegan, so it didn't work out because, yeah, technically we had beef. I was mad at her for being a vegan. Then I was on to the next one. What were you talking about? Oh, yeah, my side hobbies, because I be cooking a lot. The other thing I will say, I've already mentioned it once, your boy's a fan of basketball, about to go to a Mavericks game. I'm pretty excited. I can only afford one ticket a year. I would like to one day obtain, not season tickets, but it'd be cool to go to like 5. Retired life for Dale Brisby. Here's an inside scoop. 2 beach trips a year, 2 ski trips a year, 5 Mavericks courtside tickets per year. The rest of the time, I don't mind working until I die. I don't think I will mind. I'm going to probably be like Bobby Steiner, like 70 years old, 6-pack. That's probably going to be me. I see myself barefoot water skiing. I think that's how probably everybody views themselves. 1,000 push-ups a day, 70 years old. I think he's probably 73.
Well, I don't think he does them every day. I think he just did 1,000 push-ups.
He can do 1,000 push-ups in a day. I bet he can. Yeah. I wouldn't want to scrap with Bobby Steiner. I wouldn't want to scrap with any of the Steiners, to be honest. Do you have an open intern spot? I do not. It's the most interns we've had in a while. Text the word intern to 940-353-0890. That will put you in a group in my text. And when it's time for me to pick an intern, I'll send a text and I'll say, hey, here's how you apply. So you won't get a response right away if you text it. But let's say it's June and we need one. That's when I'll send the text. Hopefully it lines up with your schedule. If it doesn't, not my problem. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, have you ever wished about living a different lifestyle? I haven't wished for it. Deep down, I'm at peace with this lifestyle. I love it so much. There are days I wonder what would have happened had I chosen a different one. You know, I thought about the military. It was like 3rd, maybe 4th on my list in high school. I even began to run a lot because, you know, to go to the Marines, you got to like get a certain time at 3 miles. I decided not to. Chris Mills, he decided we were the ones running together. And he had one of those, we called it a butt chin. What's that when it's sort of like a, no, it's just like a point in the middle of his chin. Yeah, just a dimple in his chin. Great dude. But he had a dimple in his chin. Sometimes I get toilet paper and just wipe his chin. It's kind of a joke. But anyways, he was running the 3 miles every day with me. He went on to try out to be a Marine. They got him for the hearing test. Isn't that crazy? Or maybe it's kind of like my mom telling me that I was special. Maybe that's just what they told him. They didn't like his chin. Poor guy. Anyhow, Chris Mills went on to be a cop. Great dude. I love him. How long have you done rodeo? I've done rodeo my whole life, old son. What made you want to be a country boy? Well, I grew up a cowboy, and then Earl Dibbles made me want to be a country boy. Crack a cold one. Ranchfield, that is. Use code Dale for 15% off. I thought I had another question from the former, what I call, personal trainer of mine, Caitlin. Caitlin said, miss me or nah? It just depends on the day. You know, if I feel like I need to work out that day, sometimes I do, but I just know you're going to make fun of me and how little I do squats. But really, it's only because you're mad that I do squats that little and I'm still stronger than you. So, a couple more questions. Favorite Little Debbie snack? There's only one right answer. Man, I just don't know. I would like to. I wonder what Little Debbie was like, though. I wonder if she was little. Do you think that's like?
I think she's still alive.
Is she a biggin? Is that like a, you know, like calling a big dude tiny?
No, I don't think
Yeah, is she? She's little. She's actually little.
so. No.
Is she like a little person?
No.
Like John?
No.
No.
I think when it started, she was a little kid.
Maybe she was a kid.
I could be completely wrong and making all this up.
Isn't she redheaded?
Yeah.
So shouldn't you know this?
No, I think she actually has brown hair.
I think she's redheaded, and
No,
you should know
that's
this.
Wendy.
Y'all all
You're
stick
thinking of
together. I am.
From Wendy's.
Maybe they're the same person.
Dude, this is a Wendy's.
Is it? Do you like Wendy's? Wendy's. Oh. What was your first job? The feedlot. My dad took me. They had a processing crew quit in the middle of the night. Later, I would find out why. And so this poor soul called the local ag teacher who had 2 sons and a daughter, and we went and ran the night shift, and we worked through the night to process these calves that just showed up at the feedlot. My brother and sister went home, and I stayed for a few weeks that summer. That was my first job. And first time that, I wrote a check, because my boss was, I don't think he couldn't write a check. He just, at that moment, he couldn't write a check. He was seeing double. I also had to drive. So I had to do the math on how much he owed me, paid myself. How do you make it big in the ranching industry? Well, you go get rich somewhere else, and then you buy a ranch. No, I'm just kidding. There's ways. There's things you can do. You can get creative. You can, I'll think of something. To make it big in the ranching industry. Why did you decide to bull ride? I don't know. As opposed to like calf roping, I date girls, and I like chicks. I like adrenal, as the one questionnaire called it. Yeah. I like the fight. Every man needs a fight to fight. And for me, that was bulls. Turns out it wasn't that much of a fight. And so I then got on some broncs. That was a fight. Not as big a fight as bareback riding. That is the biggest fight. Welcome to the fight. If you guys ever want to fight someone at a rodeo, do yourself a favor and don't choose a bareback rider. Okay? Choose any event but a bareback rider. Choose a calf roper. No offense, Trevor. When are you coming back to Australia? I went there. I went to Townsville. Went to the PBR. What is the farthest place someone came to be an intern at the ranch? I don't know. I think, probably, what's his name? Reese from Canada. He came from Canada. Washington's pretty far, which is where Cole Snyder's from. It's what he calls home. Just want to put that on the record. Right, Cole? Okay, another question. Are you actually gay? I ain't gay, dog. I'm tired of y'all asking me that. What's the difference in all types of horses for ranching? Yeah, I mean, any horse can be a rancher. Just take them to the ranch and then ranch on them. Biggest mistake you've made working cattle? One time I was using a trailer, and I'm not going to say what kind it was, but it was not an Easley, and I was not fond of the latch on the back, and I ran 8 head onto this trailer, and as I was shutting the back gate, someone asked me a question, and I got distracted, and the latch that I was not fond of, I did not shut properly, which maybe is why I'm not fond of it. Regardless, it could have been engineered a little differently. And we drove down the road to weigh these 8 head of yearlings. And when we got there, we walked into the scale house, and the truck was lighter than before because there were no cattle on that trailer. We went back and we searched the highways, and they were not on the asphalt, thank goodness. We went back to the scale house, and as we were walking in, they had trotted off into a nearby wheat field. So they were safe, but it was maybe just it was definitely the biggest mistake that I'd made working cattle. Could have been real bad. Wasn't a busy highway, and they just watched. I think it was as we made the turn onto the scales when that gate slid open. But now, what do? I use Easley, old son, because I'm a cowboy, and if you don't pull an Easley, you ain't no cowboy. What smells better, horses or bulls? Horses by far. Horses smell so good. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, bulls do sometimes like smell like their bellies hurt, but like, yeah. Too much of any good thing can be a bad thing sometimes. But like too much horse poop can get a little bit much, But a little bit at a distance is way better than bull poop. Favorite Monster flavor would be ranch fuel. Is a hot dog and bun technically a sandwich? Ooh, I don't think so. I think it's still a hot
I would
dog.
say, if anything, it's a taco.
What?
Yeah, like it's got that shape, meat in the middle. Put some cheese on there.
I think it's saying it's a hot dog, weenie, and a bun. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's still a hot dog.
Yeah, I mean it's its own standalone thing.
Yeah. Do you drink, smoke, cuss, and fight? Creed Fisher. I drink ranch fuel. I smoke the competition. I only cuss when your mom doesn't text me back. And I fight my way to the fridge every night for more carbs. I don't know. I fight your mom. I fight your mom for the blankets. Yeah, there it is. Would you rather never be friends with JB Mooney or have Lonesome Dove never exist? Dang, these are hard questions. That's a tough one because there's a lot of one-liners that come out of Lonesome Dove. There's a lot of one-liners that come from JB Mooney, and both are applicable on anyone's life. For instance, no one remembers 85-point bull rides. That's a good one said by JB. And it's a mindset that fits one of the recent video that has been going around that I've shared a few times. I can't remember the guy's name. He's a skier. There's an avalanche following him, and he's evading an avalanche, but then hits a backflip jump. I don't know. I think that encompasses what it takes to have the mindset of nobody remembers 85-point bull rides. Don't you think? Yeah. Life as a pro bull rider. Better than whatever you're doing. I promise you that. What should I do to get started in bronc riding? Again, I would say don't normally. It's very dangerous. It's hard to learn. The best thing to do is to go somewhere where you can get on often. Practice horses that fit your ability. So sometimes at schools, it's hard for them to fit your ability because everyone's a beginner. And those beginner horses are hard to find. What's the time, Mr. Wolf? Is that a quote from a movie? It's rodeo time. Why are you calling me Mr. Wolf? Favorite playlist. This person must be from Europe. They spelled favorite Favourite. I was ranching with this kid from California, and he said this fence is taut. I was like, dude, go back to California. The fence is tight, not taut. You spit. You don't spat. And you don't spell favorite like that. My favorite playlist is the one that's spelled correctly. Because I'm good at words. Yeah. What are good financial investments in the world of agriculture? I don't know. I would say maybe Facebook. Google, Microsoft. No, a good financial investment. I mean, real estate. If you're gonna, you could invest in the land that you're gonna put the cows on. If you look at the land as an investment, then your cows are just a plus. Why hasn't Jerome Davis been on the podcast? We've talked about it, and I'd love to see Jerome on the podcast. What are some careers an agriculture business major can get into? Sounds like maybe the ones that actually make money. Jeez, I don't know. It depends. You got to specialize. Everybody these days is specialized. Used to, you could do all of it. But these days, you got to specialize. There's a lot of things you can do in the feedlot with an ag business degree. As far as ranching is concerned, it'd have to be a bigger ranch if you're going to do a specific job there. Yeah, unless you're going to, I don't know, ag business, because that sounds like you're sitting in an office, but you're still dealing with agriculture, right? That's kind of what I feel like there. If you're okay with that, then yeah, you might actually be one of the ones that makes money. Let's wrap this up. How do you feel your faith guided you through your journey? Well, I feel like personally that's the reason that is what guided me through my journey is my faith. I feel like God blesses us with opportunities, and he's blessed me with some opportunities, like, for instance, the internet. He's also put people in my life that made all the things possible that I've been able to do. So, yeah, I'd say without my faith, then I don't know what I'd be doing. Probably still be doctoring yearlings for $12 an hour, which isn't a bad life. There's nothing wrong with that at all. And you can still have faith and, be a morally good person while doing that. I just wanted a little something different. How many bones has Dale broke? I don't know. That would take some time. Several. What does my sleep schedule look like? About 8 hours a night. So if I go to bed late, I wake up late. If I go to bed early, I wake up early. Most nights, I go to bed early. Are you going to be at the Houston Rodeo on March? Like, am I going to be marching at it or in the month of March? I will be at the Houston Rodeo. Yes, especially on the weekends. Same with San Antonio, same with Fort Worth. Come and see a boy. I've got a booth there where you can get some awesome Rodeo Time apparel like this Ride or Die t-shirt I'm wearing. If you guys are just listening and not watching this Ride or Die t-shirt I'm wearing, just know that it's awesome, and you're going to want to go to rodeotime.com to pick that up. How did I get saved? I would say because of my father. He was definitely what inspired me watching him. I wanted to be just like him. So, Pop, that's what we called him. I was trying to remember. What's the most painful injury you have experienced? I will say the two most painful things I've experienced are, I'll start with the second, and that is waking up from, I think it's my collarbone surgery. I know it was on my shoulder. I had a shoulder surgery and a collarbone surgery, but when I woke up from that collarbone surgery, I don't know if they didn't use nerve block. I don't know if maybe it didn't work or if it was just that painful that it went above and beyond. But I remember the moment waking up from surgery, and all the other surgeries I have, you just kind of eventually wake up, and it's kind of a gradual thing. Not gradual with the collarbone. The moment my eyes popped open and I started yelling, it was just, they had just put a plate and screws into my collarbone, and I felt like I could feel each screw. And the nurses did not care that I was in pain. I feel like I've got an above average pain tolerance, and they should have assumed that about me laying in bed with sunglasses and a cap on. Regardless, Tandy showed up after that and gave me the good. I think that was also the surgery where JB, so I woke up, and then that night I was like, I'm just going to go ahead and go home. I'm not going to stay the night. But I was on heavy pain medicines because I was in so much freaking pain. Well, JB had sent me a picture of having branded JBDB on the side of some of our calves, and I was so excited. It was kind of, that particular calf was a little bit Bramerish looking. There's that color, And on the ribs, like you do all bucking bulls and a lot of animals. And I posted it and then passed out for about 10 hours. And I woke up to just a chain of hatred from, I assume, the kind of PETA activists that Cole was asking that if I'd want to live with or have electricity. Well, anyways, I just finally deleted it because it had also involved one of my friends, JB, and some of them they were throwing shade at both of us. I hated it. That was a big moment for me when I realized like just how ridiculous some people get. I mean, they're just branding a bull, like, and what's weird to me, what I get so passionate about is like, okay, some of these people that are that passionate about how we shouldn't, for instance, maybe brand a calf to identify them, they don't care about humans. Like those same people might also be pro-choice. And I'm just like, hey, how can we have, wait a second, how does this add up? They are against the death penalty. It's just like, wait a second. There's a murder and thief out here that you are, but then there's also this calf who you put and then there's these baby. Anyways. Okay, what was the question? What's my worst injury? Now the most painful. Let me go back to the most painful. We got kind of deep there. That was number 2, waking up from that surgery. Number 1 would be, drumroll please, re-breaking my collarbone back in college. I got stepped on by a bull, and it was it was a fracture. It was a break. It went all the way through the bone, but everything stayed in place. Well, then I'm sitting on the ground, and I lean back, and I put my elbow on the ground to catch myself. Snap on the collarbone. That's the most painful thing that I've experienced, I'd say. Really got me.
Ouchie to the C-bone.
Ouchie to the C-bone, as Kevin Wayne would say. Ouchie to the C-bone. All right, 1 or 2 more questions. Nachos or quesadillas? Man, probably just quesadillas for the ease of travel, because I'm always on the go. But some loaded up nachos are underrated. What's next on your animal hunt list? I would say if it didn't involve so much travel, like having to go to northern Canada, a moose would be cool.
Might be in the United States soon.
Which, yes, good point, Donnie, which Canada might be in the United States soon. So travel to the 51st state. Yeah, which I'm a fan of. Good heavens, I'm a fan of. Maybe make them just a little more conservative. Fix some things up there. That'd be good. The majority of them probably are, and there's small pockets, kind of like that. When it showed like who actually voted blue in the whole United States and who actually voted red. Like there's these small pockets of huge cities where some people just don't really understand reality. Anyways, that's probably the same way in Canada. Yeah. When will you be making more episodes for the podcast? We've got a lot coming out. And you've seen some of our recents that have been super fun to record. Some Texas Cowpuncher series, some Texas Cowboys, friends of mine, day workers, legendary cowboys that you may or may not have heard of because they don't have anything on the internet. And they're just people that I've met or heard of that I'd like to invite on and hear their cowboy stories. But then there's also the Coulter Walls and Zach Tops that have been a blessing to get to interview that you guys should be excited about. Do you still have frostbite? 2 questions about frostbite right in a row. No, we do not.
Yeah, I bet he's freezer burnt.
He is freezer burnt. Yeah, he went from frostbite to freezer burnt. You want a beer? It'd be my first. I appreciate the offer. Hogan Harris, but I don't drink unless it's ranch fuel. Are you pregnant or are you planning to be? I am not, and I am not. All right, one more question. Thoughts on participation trophies for kids? This is a tough one because I kind of give those to my interns often. No, but I think it depends on the age of the kid, I would say. I mean, there's a certain age like, hey, we're just glad you're out there and engaging. And I would say maybe like 3 years old. Once you get to like 5 and 6, you need to learn you might be a loser that day. And maybe that will help you decide whether you want to continue being a loser or if you decide you want to be a winner. So I would say 5 and under participation is okay. No. I'm going to say 4 and under because there's some pretty mature 4-year-olds. I know I had a full-time job. Where do you think Radiator Ranch came in? Well, that's because I was working on radiators. And then when I became a full-time bull rider at 9, I shifted my focus to bull riding. Regardless, I would say 4 years old and under participation trophies are okay. We're just glad you're out there and participating. 5 years old and up, you either won or you lost, kid. Anything else I need to address?
I don't know. You've been talking to yourself for an hour and 20 minutes.
Has it been an hour 20?
Yeah.
Good heavens. I am so entertaining. I've not been more entertained by any other podcast guest that I can think of. This has been the most engaged I've been in a podcast all year. So thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for listening. And don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, whatever platform you're on. I really appreciate you guys hanging with us in 2024. And get ready for 2025. Lord willing, it's going to be the best year yet. Ride or die rodeo time, am I right? So go to rodeotime.com, check us out. And then I'd love to say thank you to our sponsors. Some of the ones not mentioned have been American Hats, Can-Am, and Rock and Roll Denim. Love those Reflex, baby. They're day one ride or die. That's for sure. And then last but not least, Total Feeds has been powering Radiator Ranch. They were day two. Rock and Roll Denim was day one. Total Feeds is day two. So love you guys. I'm on to the next one. And can't wait to see you on the next podcast.